All right, let's talk about the deceptions of the devil and why we've been living in a world filled with lies during Satan's little season. First and foremost, you hear me reference the devil and Satan, and when I talk about Gnostic teachings, it's the demiurge. But you never hear me say Lucifer. There's a reason for that, is because Lucifer means the morning star, the light bringer, an angel of light. That also references Apollo and Helios and the Antichrist, Apollyon, which is supposed to be the one that brings about the destruction and end of the world. Well, in a way, that's true, but it's in a world that's covering up the Epstein files. Is that a world you want to keep running? Is that a world you want to keep going? Where hundreds and thousands of people mysteriously disappear and go missing and wind up on milk cartons every year? Is that the world you want to defend? Is that the world you want to protect? Is that the world you want to keep going? All right? All this stuff is being exposed in divine timing. And it is a lot darker than people realize. And yeah, the church, the higher ups in the church, especially the Catholic Church, are behind it. They are connected to it. They are part of it. They are in on Satan's little synagogue of Satan. All right? But that's the final deception, is tricking people into thinking that the good is bad and the bad is good. All right? Now, things go by different names. All right? That's the whole point of the Tower of Babel and all that stuff. But, the color black in Spanish is negro. All right? But what the devil does is like calling this bottle white. All right? That's completely different. It tries to tell you that the thing that's bad is good and the thing that's good is bad. It's trying to tell you that Lucifer is the devil. Lucifer is the enlightener. Lucifer is also Prometheus, all right? Because all these cultures come up with different ideologies in their different languages, but they all reference the same thing. All right? And that's the true deception of the devil slash the demiurge, but not Lucifer slash Apollo slash Helios slash, okay? They all got different names, but they represent the same thing. White and black mean completely different things. So it's not the same to call it the same thing when it's something completely different. And this is what Jesus meant when he said, "Many will come in my name, but you will know me by my fruit." All right? You're not going to get a lemon out of an apple tree. You're not going to get a grape out of a watermelon seed. All right? You will see people by their actions. All right? And what he means by that, and I refer to he even though I'm the reincarnation, it's because the soul wears the body like your foot wears a shoe. All right? And when this body gets worn out, you get a new body. That's what reincarnation is. Just like when your shoes start falling apart, you get some new shoes. All right? So they're new shoes. They have a different look and a different name. All right? Unless you get the exact same shoe every time. But yeah, the point I'm trying to get at is that people are just now discovering and exposing that people are talking about how Lucifer is not the devil. Lucifer is the light bringer. Apollo is the light bringer. Apollyon is supposedly the Antichrist or Abaddon. But Jesus says he is Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. So that means the light and the dark. And that is what the whole point of shadow integration is you're supposed to make peace with your dark side. But if you never grew up being horrifically abused and grew up in that type of environment, you don't really have much of a dark side, so you don't got to worry about that. If you grew up in a happy, healthy, loving environment and you're just trying to live your life, you're fine, all right? You're already an earth angel. This is talking about the people that are intentionally trying to perpetuate and continue this world of darkness and keeping people ignorant and abused. Because, as I've already talked about before, the Freemasons and all that stuff, they intentionally abuse people. They intentionally abuse people their entire lives to keep them dumb and ignorant. All right, people that have the light of Christ within them. All right, and that's what that is. That's what that represents, is people that have a soul inside them. Because these are soulless, heartless monsters. All right, narcissistic psychopaths. All right, they are filled with black hole energy. And if you have strong enough empathy and intuition, you can feel that black wholeness in them, of them feeling like they are completely empty inside and they need to take, and give absolutely nothing back in return. But if you don't have any issues like that, and that's what the 7 deadly sins are, is it's also a reference to narcissism and psychopaths that just are filled with so much emptiness that they feel like they need to fill it with something, all right? The sin of lust is not just sex. That's ridiculous, because we are made in God's image, and if God didn't want us to have sex, we would reproduce asexually. It wouldn't feel as fun, okay? That would be like saying clapping your hands or shaking hands with someone else is a sin. All right, this is all the deceptions of the church, trying to spread this narrative so that way they can weaponize shame, because that's all about keeping people in their lower chakras in survival mode, and fear and shame. And shame is just social fear. So again, fear is the weapon, hence why even in the Bible, and they try to take these things and try to flip it around, but at the same time, the angels say, do not fear. Fear not, have no fear, be not afraid. Over 300 times in the Bible, over 360 times in the Bible. About 365 if I'm not mistaken. So that's, don't be afraid, for every single day of the year. As in, don't be afraid. All day, every day, all year round. Because fear is the devil's weapon. Okay, hence why they say, be not afraid. But, okay, the church is really, really trying to push this narrative that someone claiming to be Jesus, like myself, that doesn't come down the way that they prophesize that it comes down. But the spirit realm is invisible to the physical. I've already talked about that before. So, yeah. All this stuff is happening in the background. People don't even realize. And choosing not to believe in the spirit world, choosing not to believe in spirituality and all that stuff, it's not going to save you from the destruction that it can cause. All right? Because before I came to the realization that I was, in fact, the reincarnation and second coming of Jesus Christ himself in the flesh, I just thought I was a normal person. But when I tried exposing a narcissist to the horrible, disgusting things that they were doing, for 3 nights in a row, all night, a very, very weird feeling happened where it felt like there was an invisible hand strangling me all night long for 3 straight nights, and it would immediately disappear as soon as the sun would rise. 3 nights in a row. That's very weird. And that was back when I didn't believe in any of that stuff. Didn't save me from it. All right? So, magic is real, and God and the devil are real. But the devil is not Lucifer. Lucifer is the enlightener. Okay? It's just another word for the morning star. All right? And that has to be emphasized because isn't it kind of surprising that all these, quote-unquote Luciferians are doing all this stuff in the name of the devil? It's like, but yet at the same time, we also got church witches who say that they're for Christ, they're for Jesus, and then turn around and they're like emotionally abusive. They are completely horrible people, in the background. Because God can see into your heart, God can see into your mind. Your thoughts and your feelings, God sees everything, and that includes those. All right, so whether you're 10 miles in a reinforced concrete lead-lined bunker, God sees everything. There's no hiding. So that's why it's important to make sure that you cleanse yourself, not just on the outside, but on the inside. And this is what Jesus was trying to expose with the Pharisees. They were more concerned with the way things looked at the church, rather than actually making sure that they were decent people on the inside. And isn't it funny that that's exactly what I'm trying to expose too? And another thing that's kind of funny is they tried shutting off my food stamps card, my EBT card. So I went a month, and I didn't check it for 10 days after. So ironically, I went 40 days and 40 nights hungry. Once again, I'm not even trying, and I'm accidentally stumbling into fulfilling prophecy. It's kind of hilarious, all right? But yeah. That is the weapons of the devil, is lies and deception and fear weaponized. All right? They're trying to project onto you that, oh, you're a dirty sinner and you're going to burn in hell forever. That is them projecting onto you. All of this follows exactly in line with narcissistic projection. And that is what the 7 deadly sins are, is reference to narcissistic personality disorder. But that was 2,000 years ago, before psychology had another name for it. Okay, which again, I've also talked about. If you were to do brain scans, the complete and total lack of empathy shows up as blank dots of no neural activity in the frontal cortex. That's the devil horns. All right? So, yeah, just wanted to make a little video about the weapons of the devil, and we're actively being lied to and exposing the truth, which is what Prometheus did, is brought the light to the people, because the people were in the dark. And that's what it's all about.